This is episode 11 of the Equities Midlands branch podcast. It's the 11th of 16 episodes. In this episode, we're going to talk about unclaimed royalties. So, find out if you're owed money from the past performances in unclaimed royalties. So, join us in reflecting on the importance of equity through our lens of lived experience. Podcast hosts joining me, the regulars. Hello, Kim.
Hello.
Hello, Mel.
Hello.
And hello, Ken.
Oh,
So tell me, how has this news article come about over our radars? I will put the link in the description to the unclaimed royalties. And what is it? So tell me, what's going on?
I'll start. So we have quite regularly an email that comes from Equity, or either your regional office or the head office, and it gives us various items of news or things that we should go away and do. And there was one that said spread the word. So I thought, what better place to do that than the podcast? And it was titled Reminder, Unclaimed Royalties. We're looking for thousands of performers, creative workers, and heirs of deceased performers who are entitled to unclaimed royalty payments. Please spread the word and search for your name, and so on and so forth. So we just thought we would spread the word. I was quite intrigued. This isn't necessary. We do have usage payments for in the world of voice, which you can go on and should go back and claim and what have you. And if you hear your voice out in the wild that's not suddenly under a usage agreement, you would go back and try and find it. But the concept of royalties, I think, is quite different. And this whole process behind the scenes, I was unaware of. So it was quite interesting. I did click on the link because I'm a nosy Parker, by name, by nature. And it takes you, if anybody hasn't done it, to the Equity website. And there's a whole section about unclaimed royalties and that there's a royalties checker, which I thought you might go in and then have to put your name in. But no. It gives you a great big long list of thousands and thousands of people who I assume have unclaimed
yeah.
royalties. So we've had a peep, we've had a look. Some people in our group said, "Oh, am I on there?"
So we did Control F. We put in Kim Gillespie, and sure enough,
There he
Yeah,
is.
he's on
yeah,
there.
yeah. Well, I did know about this actually. So, it didn't come as news to me particularly because there'd been an episode of Heartbeat that it was on a couple of months ago on a Monday night. My son texted me and said, "Here you go again, same old stuff, same old stuff." And it was the Bad Penny episode, which he says is quite popular. But anyway, it suddenly occurred to me that I hadn't been paid anything for that for the last 15 years, ever since I left my agent, and I assumed it was all going to my agency, which went defunct a couple of years ago, actually. So presumably, I thought, well, somebody must be keeping that. And I knew about BEX, which was the British Equity Collecting Society. And I contacted them the day after and kind of wrote to them and said, you know, can I have some of this money, please? Is it there? And actually, I was quite surprised because they came back almost immediately. I mean, it was a very quick response and said, yes, you're on our list. You have got money waiting for you. And so, of course, I got really excited about the thousands of pounds that were accruing in there. But
Drum
it
roll.
doesn't, yeah, it won't amount to much. My previous payment, which is documented in this very long document that I had, which was the last payment, which was in 2010. No, even earlier than that,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
And it amounted to £20. So I'm not, it went all over the world, but it amounted to 20 quid. I'm not, kind of anticipating a great deal, but you never know. There's a lot of names on that list, and you really ought to have a look
Yeah.
down it and find out.
This thousand, did you do manage to account or something, Karen, on this spreadsheet?
Well,
How many thousands of people are on that
I'm
list? It's
just
like
gonna, so I'm just
say
checking, I'm just
37,000.
scanning up to the top of it. So it does start at 1. And so, okay, so the header is number 1. But if I scan all the way down to the bottom of this list, there are 37,065 names on this list.
Times by £20. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of
Well,
which it does say sadly are deceased, but then it talks about people who are entitled to the money from the deceased,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
It's quite.
And actually somebody's there looking out for those people. I mean, and say, making sure the
yeah,
money goes in there, and
yeah.
keeping it
So
for
as I
them.
say,
Pretty amazing.
it'd be
Yeah.
really interesting. There's no way of us knowing if any of those names are in the East Midlands. Um,
No, it's not that detailed, is it? But we're doing our bit by spreading the word to the East Midlands members who hopefully are the main candidates listening to this, but maybe we've got people beyond the East Midlands listening to this that are equity
it's
members.
interesting. I'm looking
Go and
straight
look
at
at the
it
list,
here,
go
and
and check your name. We'd
Danny
love to hear
Minogue
from
is on the
anybody.
list.
Who's on the list?
Danny Minogue is on the list.
No.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I mean,
You'd think she'd
That
know,
can't
really,
be.
wouldn't you?
it might be a different spelling, of course. I don't know, but I just it's one of those. It'd be
Can't
interesting to
there
go
only be?
through, and
But I never thought to look for famous names. That's
Daniel
what
Day-Lewis is
I
on
mean,
there.
so that's Daniel Day-Lewis. Like that's nobody else with the same name. That is Mr. Day-Lewis.
Oh,
So
he
Yeah.
better claim
So
his £20, hasn't he?
So let's put the East Midlands on the list. So anybody who wants to tell Daniel Day-Lewis that he's on
Daniel
this list,
Day-Lewis.
we would like a commission, please.
Exactly. Mr. Day-Lewis, please check this list.
We'd
That's
love to
really
hear
interesting.
from
As I say,
anybody, wouldn't we? We'd love to hear from anybody because
yeah.
we keep trying to
Hang
make
on,
this.
please. Can we check our ultimate homeboy,
Have you
Stephen
looked?
Graham? Is
Oh,
Stephen Graham on?
I thought you were talking
let's
about
have a
yourself,
look.
Ken.
And of course, if you're on a Mac, I don't know. I'm just pressing Command and F and bringing it up. But yeah, let's see if we can. It's as I say,
Fine.
uh,
Is he
Graham.
PH?
so in terms of
He's Stephen with a PH.
actual Stevens, just the name Stephen on this brings up 198 options.
Oh, there
Wow.
you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Presumably, these are. I mean,
Stephen.
it's 37. That's two-thirds of the equity membership, isn't it? In total. I mean, I know the deceased ones, is a substantial part of this.
Yeah, and not all of
Would
them will.
but clearly, it's kind of members and
Yeah, that
the
have
substantial
So
amount of current membership. I would have thought.
I
no.
have a newbie's question. I have a complete newbie's question to this. So, like, I know a lot of people that now do kind of, there's lots of different terminologies for roles in TV. So there's walk on or there's day
Yeah.
player and things
Yeah.
like that. When you do those things like that and you sign the forms at the end of the day before you walk off set, that's likely to exclude you from future royalties, right?
It does now. This is different. To a certain extent, with the landscape has changed quite a lot over the last 20 years, as we know, with kind of digital media and the kind of internet spread of repeats and everything else. Yeah, I mean, the buyouts probably is the most prevalent way of actually now they pay you off essentially, whereas this last job I had on this particular show, episode of Heartbeat, was based on royalties, whereby I will be paid, in perpetuity as long as I live. The matter of pence, depending on wherever it goes. But actually, that's an indication of how much some people are earning or could be earning if they're kind of starring in some of these shows. It's a significant
Yeah.
amount,
Mm.
and it surprises me. Daniel Day-Lewis hasn't picked up unless it was in something very small a long while ago. And it's completely
Yeah.
forgotten.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
kind of
I mean,
interesting.
I met a fellow equity member who had in the past one line in Torchwood, and that line was cut, so it never even got broadcast, and they get about £128 a year,
Yeah.
which was
Wow.
really, so if you're in something that you had an agreement with, they can pay you little amounts. But I think the one thing that when someone's trying to explain royalties to me and why they were necessary is it's you as an artist giving some of your time in kind because they'll pay you for the time you're on set, but it's on an agreement that if this makes money, you will then share some of it with me. And sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't.
Yeah.
It does actually, in the article that's on the Equity website,
Mhm.
it does give a list of films and TV programs that says it includes but not exclusive to. So it talks about Batman Begins, Love Actually, Pirates of the Caribbean, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Doctor Who, M.I. Hydrop, The Dodontic Steptoe and Son. And then there's West End ones as well, Les Mis, Back to the Future, the musical, Cats. You know, there is an indication. So if you just have a peep, if you're in any of those,
Yeah.
go and have a peep.
Mm.
You never know.
Well,
And
that's
they are shows.
Graham is not on the list.
Probably coming to the end of this now, but they are shows in which those like Doctor Who, for instance, that won't go to digital platforms, that will stay, that will probably be based on royalties rather than buyout or whatever it is, because that will be repeated on mainstream television and not, not in the complicated world of digital TV.
yeah, it's all very complicated, isn't
It
it?
is actually. It's much more complicated than it was.
And if you find yourself on the list and you get your 20 quid, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah, yeah. You heard it here first.
Yes.
That's it. Well, absolutely fascinating of what's going on in the industry. And I think the one thing that makes this podcast unique is that it is our reflection on what we're seeing happen around us. And we are all find it hard to really focus on being present specifically to deal with all of the things that are going on around the union on the inside. And I think, with members becoming involved and taking interest in the region, when we started this podcast, there was some categories that we wanted to try and cover. So as we come to the end of our 10 minutes, just to give you a bit of an idea of the sort of things that this podcast will be trying to talk about in its future episodes, we're looking at Conference Uncovered. So casting your vote, East Midlands Spotlight, campaigning catch-ups, what's up, what's on your mind, you ask and we answer, and the did you knows. And today was a bit of a did you know? So on that note, if you have watched this on video on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you are listening to this on a podcast platform, please subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, please do subscribe. And thank you for listening to episode 11.
Yeah.